that's what I'm gonna try to do. All right, so the most common question I get asked is, where do I start? Right? So yeah, I wrote stuff down because I was like, I don't want to come in here blind. My thing is, first you want to ask yourself, why do you want to practice yoga? Why are you interested in practicing yoga? What is calling you to practice yoga? Right? And this is why we journal. This is why we journal. We need to get in connect to why we want to do the things we do. Why we're interested in doing the things we do. Huh? Pizza. Okay. Mama. 3-year-old here. Mama. So we need to get connected to why we want to do the things we do. So I would ask you to really soul search and ask yourself, why do you want to practice yoga? What is it about yoga that is attractive to you? Is it the strength building? Like you want to learn how to flip upside down? Are you interested in a routine? Are you interested in meditation? What is it about yoga that is calling you? What do you see when you see myself and other yogis on Instagram or Facebook or wherever you see yogis, YouTube? And what is it that is making you say, I want to practice yoga? So that's the first thing. The next thing, right? There are tons of different types of yoga. Tons. There's booty yoga. There's vinyasa. There's ashtanga. There's hatha. There's power yoga. There's rocket yoga. There's Bikram yoga. You see where I'm going with this? There's tons of different types of yoga. There's as many types of yoga now than there was before. Most of them are based off of Ashtanga and what is the other formal one? Vinyasa. So they have their roots in a yoga that is based out of where yoga comes from, which is India, and then they build off of there, right? So there's different types of yoga depending on what you want to accomplish in your yoga practice. So someone who would want to do more, learn how to do headstands and handstands and do more active yoga would probably choose a rocket yoga or a power yoga. Someone who wants to do more meditation and more focusing on their body and their mind. I'm not saying that rocket yoga or power yoga doesn't need that, because you need your mind in order to do all those upside down and powerful poses. You need focus. You need mental clarity in order to do that. But some practices are more stillness involved, more going inside, and that would be a more Ashtanga or a more Bikram yoga approach. You're going to really look up the different types of yoga that are out there and really delve into whether or not these practices are useful to you and how they will work for you, because that is the point of it, right? To really see, is yoga practical for me? Is this something that is going to work for my lifestyle? Because I think that most people see us yogis on Instagram and think this is just another form of exercise, and it can be that, but it's more than exercise. It's a mental exploration. It's a spiritual invitation to yourself. So you really have to learn about the different types of yoga in order to figure out what type of yoga you want to practice. Now, not saying you can't mix the practices, because I am a mixer. I'm a blender of practices. My practice is vinyasa / rocket / ashtanga / lots of different other things. So So, but that style works for me. But my main form of yoga would be vinyasa or hatha. Those are my main yoga flows preferences, right? So that is my preferred yoga style. It's hatha or vinyasa. So you have to know that. What is your go-to? What is your home? How do you dig into those roots and grow your yoga practice from there, right? So most of what I present to you is a vinyasa or hatha yoga style. That is my style of yoga. That is what I practice. That is what I am certified to practice, to teach. Okay? All right. So, again, if you have questions, welcome everybody who's coming in. This is how to begin your yoga practice. Just really going over this. All right. So, all right. We said research styles. Why do you want to practice yoga? Other question I get. Do I have to be flexible to practice yoga? Okay, so you're looking at yogis on IG. Lots of yogis are flexible. Lots of yogis have prior dance lives, cheerleading lives, other lives that led to yoga, that already had yoga wrapped into their practice. So it was natural and easier for them to go into a yoga practice and to be able to take on lots of styles of yoga without difficulty, it looks like to you. However, no. The short answer, no. You do not have to be flexible to practice yoga. The only flexibility you need to practice yoga is mental flexibility, right? Because yoga practice requires a certain amount of patience, a lot of patience, in order for you to show up for yourself every day. Because every day is not going to be a good day on the mat. Every day is not, you're not going to be able to pull off. I could do a sauna yesterday that I couldn't do today. Why? Because my body said, no, thank you. I'm not interested in doing that. And you know what you do? You listen to your body. And you say, okay, body, thanks for informing me of what we have to work with today. And now go do something else. So, no, you don't have to be flexible in your body, but you do need to be flexible in your mind and in your spirit, right? So, a lot of yoga is a mental focus. It's a huge mental focus. That's why there's so much emphasis on meditation. Even though it's hard to see the meditation practice on Instagram and other platforms like this because we are an engagement people. We like to be engaged, right? And meditation isn't engaging to others. So most times I post meditations every now and then, but I really don't post a lot of meditation posts. A, because it's not engaging to people who come to my page, and B, because my meditation practice is kind of more personal than my yoga practice. Actually, my meditation practice is for me mostly. And when I do choose to share it, that's different, right? That means that I want to let people into my space in a different kind of a way. So the mental flexibility and the ability to meditate and to gain clarity on your mat is the foremost form of yoga that most yogis practice, but that you do not get to see on Instagram because, again, it's not engaging. So another question I get about yoga: can I be Christian or another faith? Yoga is not a religion. It does come from the Hindu, from India, and is based in Hindu practices, but it is not a religion. It has religious aspects, as all things do, because we live in a cultural world. And when you take something from another culture and you adapt it to yourself, you have to be respectful of those people. So no, you do not have to believe in Hinduism or Buddhism or anything from the East to practice yoga. And yes, you can be Christian or Muslim or any other denomination or faith, and you still have to respect where the practice comes from. You still have to respect it by not making a mockery of it, not dressing up as a person Ooh, my daughter. Not dressing up as a person and putting on clothing that represents another culture disrespectfully, right? And using the yoga terms in respect, right? So respecting Sanskrit, written Sanskrit words, respecting the practices and the teachings that you learn from yoga. That's a part of it, right? So when we, as a black person, we are really strong on cultural appropriation, and we're really strong on firm. When I say firm, strong, like we're like, don't do that. And I feel the same way about yoga. Don't cultural appropriate yoga by putting on costumes of Indian born people and doing yoga and putting, you know what I'm saying. I don't have to go deep into that. Don't put Indian lifestyle on as a costume. That's disrespectful to the culture of yoga and disrespectful to the people of India. So that answers that question. Yes, you can be of many faiths to practice yoga. No, you do not have to believe in Hinduism or Buddhism in order to practice yoga, but you do need to respect those cultures for who and what they are and allow them to have space. All right. So I want to, oh my God. I want to show you guys some books that I started with. This is the first book that came across my hands. Scientific Healing Affirmations by Yogi Ananda. All right. So this book, best practice book. Awesome book. Amazing book. I carry it with me in my purse every day. I have a smaller version, a pocket version. It's in my purse when I go and I leave the house. If I get bored, I open it up and I read it. Life-changing stuff. Really affirming. Really helps you really dig into the mindset, the mental clarity that you need to practice yoga. This book. Perfect book for that. The next book, The Yoga Sutras. I always mess his name up, so I'm not even going to do it today, right? But you can see it, and I will take a picture of these books and put them in my stories. This is everything. This is, if you ever do a yoga teacher training, this is one of the books they're going to tell you to read. It's necessary. This is the foundations of yoga. Foundations, right? So you need foundations. The Bhagavad Gita, right? So the Bhagavad Gita is basically a conversation between Krishna and one of his faithful servants. And it talks about how he created the earth, and it's a large conversation. It's a deep conversation. But it's basically saying that yoga is all that there is. Yoga is all that there ever be. And that yoga is everything. So me talking to you right now and sharing this information is yoga. Everything I do is yoga, right? So, and yoga is, I'm going to say this the correct way, and I'm going to do my best. Yoga is kind of I'm going to mess it up, so I'm going to skip that part because I know that my brain is all over the place. All right. If you have a hard time with the Yoga Sutras because the culture is different, the language is different, the talking about Hindu gods is different, it's too much for you, it's too vast. Americanized version, the yamas and the niyamas. This is also what happens in Western culture, right? We make it so we can understand it. If you do a yoga teacher training, you'll most likely have to read this and this, because it's basically, this is a translation of this. It's a westernized version of this, an easier version of this. And it tells you basically the fundamental practices of yoga, the 8 limbs of yoga, how to practice yoga faithfully in your life. And the 8 limbs of yoga are, I can't name them all off the top of my head, but it's like do no harm. It's meditation. There's lots of limbs. I'll put those up too because I should have wrote that down, but I didn't. But I like to give book recommendations because books help you grow. They also have this on Audible. You can get a free subscription. They have the Bhagavad Gita as well. It's actually an easier listen on Audible. And you can get free books on Audible when you subscribe, at least 1 or 2 free books. And you can just knock those 2 out in a listen, right? The last book that most people don't get but should get because you think, oh, I'm just going to get on my mat and make some shapes. But you're not. You're going to break your arm. Yoga anatomy. Also something, if you do a yoga training, that they will recommend. Why? Because it's the anatomy of the body. Tells you how your limbs are connected, tells you what muscles are connected, tells you how to move properly so that you won't harm yourself, so that you could do yoga to your fullest ability and that you won't hurt yourself, right? And this is what you need to know. You need to know how the arm bone's connected to the, and all that, so you don't break your damn neck, because raw strength is great, but it has to be developed. And you have to have that mental clarity behind you in order to carry out a lot of these things consistently over and over again. And the main thing is for yoga practice, get up every day and get on your mat. Without all of this stuff, without access to all of this stuff, you have a floor and you have your body. You have a floor and you have your body. And that is all you need. You don't need all the fancy yoga clothes. You don't need all the accoutrements of yoga. You don't need 30 mats. You don't need nothing. You just need you and your willingness to get up and practice. All right? So all the other stuff, do that later. After you've gotten up for 3 months in a row and you've sat down and you've made some movement toward a practice, then buy an outfit, then buy a yoga mat, then buy a yoga mat. They're only $5. Who cares? But instead of becoming a consumer of something that you're not going to maintain, step into the practice first. Get on your mat. Search for yoga challenges in the search bar on Instagram. Join those yoga challenges. If it's 5 days, start there. 7 days, even better. 15 days, great. A 30-day yoga challenge. If you make it through a 30-day yoga challenge, buy yourself an outfit. You're committed in some way, right? You have to do more than ask. You have to get up there and try. Because, and you don't have to take pictures and post them on IG. I practiced for 4 months before I posted a picture. 4 months. Because I wanted to look like, but I did it, and I was polling. I'm a pretty strong person. So I was like, well, I can't do this. And I had to learn. I had to grow into my practice. I had to grow with my practice. When I had my daughter, there were things I couldn't do while I was pregnant. So I lost them. And I had to, after I had her and I started my practice back up, I had to reintroduce those things to my body. Your body is a memory-based vehicle. It has to do things over and over and over again in order for it to understand the mechanics behind it. So, those are my tips. Those are my tricks. Really ain't no tricks. Let me see if y'all have any questions, because I'm done talking. I don't have anything else to say. I think I said it all. Nope, no questions? All right. Okay, so I will post the books. And again, I'm gonna run over the script real quick for those of you who just joined. We were talking about how to start your yoga practice. I basically went through why do you want to do yoga? What's the purpose? Why are you interested in yoga? Figure that out first. I'm trying to find my notes. All right. Look up the yoga practices. There's tons of different yoga practices. Figure out which yoga practice or practices will suit you. I told you that my yoga practice basics are Hatha and Vinyasa. Those are my yoga practices that are my base yoga practices that all my yoga stems from. Research. Do you have to be flexible? No. Can you be of another faith? Of course. Just be respectful. Don't appropriate Indian culture. Oh, I forgot. Other black girl yogis and yogis on IG, I will post a post. Little Yogi J off the top of my head. Jasiri Niklata. I hope I'm pronouncing her name correctly. And yes, yoga has curves. Lexa Porter. God, K the Body. Belle Ife. Jesus, so many. Yogi Girl, Yogi World. I'm trying. My brain is racking, right? So I'm going to post all these yogis that are influential and doing the damn thing every day, showing up with the energy for you in various forms. There's so many of us to choose from to inspire you, and I want you to get on your mat and do the best that you can and commit to at least a 7-day practice, and then see if it's something you're interested in. See if it's something you can grow from there. I thank you guys for showing up. And I don't see any questions, so I'm going to hop off here, and I thank you guys. I appreciate you, and look out. I'm going to do another live on Friday. Got to put the post up. I holler at y'all. Thank you. Peace.